Oh, shit.
Okay, we are live. Welcome. I'm Mike. This is Tracy.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Come on in.
The water's fine.
Is that good?
Yeah, it'll work.
So yeah, we're just gonna wait for y'all to shuffle in before we start our scratch removal demo and answer any of your questions.
Perfect. Happy March, everybody. Don't know if you guys had time to take a look yet, but we are having a sale. Kind of promote this whole thing, 20% off on the scratch kits. Kind of just want to touch on why you should be doing scratch removal if you aren't already. We'll get into that, but take the time, wait for people to join.
Hope everybody's doing good.
Let's see. Nice Thursday morning.
Yeah, we'll give it another minute or so, I think, and then we can start up.
That was pretty funny. Of all the things we start, Michael, been doing this for 5 months now. Scratch is pretty easy for you to pick up, though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Our scratch removal system is so easy to use. When I started, I think the second time I ever used it, I had it pretty much down. And that's for the one-step technique that we're going to show you that can take out pretty much any light to medium scratches.
Anything you guys are coming across, so especially the stuff that you guys do, it's pretty important nowadays. Perfect. Probably give it a couple more seconds. But yeah, no. Thursday, we're here in the middle of March doing scratch. Tell us where you guys are from. I handle all central states. Mike does East Coast. How's the East Coast, Mike?
Good. Yeah, good afternoon to all our East Coasters. Good morning to all you West Coasters. And yeah, we're doing good. I mean, speaking of the East Coast, when it comes to scratched glass, it's a huge problem over there.
Now, Mike, what kind of glass can this work on?
Our system works on laminated, annealed, tempered, and mirrors.
Mirrors.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got off the phone with the guy this morning who asked about that because, especially with how hard it is to remove scratches from mirrors because of the temperature that you got to get to, it's just, they were wasting so many mirrors and just throwing them away. So having this as an option, huge relief as far as, the pain that it's causing you guys in scratch. Like, who hasn't seen it? If you guys are dealing with glass, you've seen scratches in glass before.
Yeah, and I talk to guys again in the Northeast. It seems like it's a major problem where these contractors are building these houses where all the glass is custom. I talked to a guy in Connecticut. He said he's building a $12 million house. Every piece of glass in the house was custom, and every piece of glass showed up with scratches on it.
Oh my gosh.
So for him, I mean, in his words, he's like, if I buy this kit, I pay a guy even a full couple of days to take out all these scratches. I mean, he was saying just one piece of glass was about 10 grand, and it was custom cut. So if he has to replace it, there's all these supply chain issues. Who knows how long it's going to take if he's working on a deadline. Just makes more sense to just be able to take them out yourself.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. It's one of those things. We have the solution for a problem that you guys are all running into. I know you guys probably hear it, our glass, it's just easier to replace, or, I send it back to the vendor. But what's that costing? Like, maybe not financially, but as far as having to reschedule. You already had the glass there. Why not pick up something that could just immediately handle the situation? 15 minutes, you don't have to push anything back, don't have to reschedule. You have the vehicle, I'm assuming, ready to go because it was ready to be installed. So get it out, get it done, get the scratch removed.
Yeah, and as we all know time is money. So if you're having to deal with replacing a piece of glass that showed up that was ready to go, like Tracy said, it's just more time, more work hours. Why not get this kit, take it out yourself. Customer's happy, you're on your deadline, and you're good to go.
Customer satisfaction.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. Because I feel like you can only put a customer off so many times before they're like, I'm going to find somewhere else to go.
Yeah,
And hopefully they'll leave you a bad review for having to reschedule so many times.
exactly. A 1-star review on Google.
I mean, yeah, who doesn't check reviews before they're going somewhere anymore?
Yeah.
I know it doesn't matter. If one guy's got, a decent amount of reviews and they're predominantly good, love to have it. But, you see those 1-star reviews, they're like, maybe I should try somewhere else. So, it's just another burden that, you probably aren't seeing or linked to financially, but it is actually hurting your pocket. Like, how much business could you have had? All for a simple process.
Exactly. The kit pays for itself in many ways. Avoid those 1-star reviews, keep customers happy, and keep yourself moving, going fast.
The labor involved in doing it is just astronomical right now. I know you guys, probably been in business a long time and probably saw a huge increase in glass as far as cost as it is from last year. And somehow when the cost went up, the handling went down. So we all know you guys are all getting the glass from similar places that are just like, well, we can get it back to you in 48 hours or lead time 3 weeks. So yeah, it's just having this 1-step process is just something that makes sense. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, and we're mainly talking about flat glass, but as you see, we've got a windshield here too. A lot of the auto glass people I talk to, guys who are doing replacements, they'll replace a windshield and they won't notice that there's a scratch in it. But who notices?
And what do they do?
Is the customer.
Yeah.
And then they want they're either going to give you a 1-star review or they're going to want to replace it again.
Yep.
So it's like, why not just nip it in the bud and take care of the problem before it becomes a problem?
I've talked to so many tint guys or auto glass installers and just like, I'll just knock off some amount of price, $75, $100 off of it. Okay, so theoretically, if you do that 10 times, could have paid for the kit itself already and you could have collected that money. And how much is it going to cost you in the future? Just taking a little bit off the top every time, it's hurting your pocket. So might as well. Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I always ask people, I'm like, well, how long do you plan on being in business for? Because this isn't a problem that's going away anytime soon, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So having that as an option, again, just makes it easy.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I don't know about you, but
just taking a look here. What we got?
Any questions?
Just taking a look here. Okay, we got a question from Alpha Olympian. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, he asked, sorry I missed it, but does it work on flat glass?
Works
Yes,
on flat glass.
100%.
Tempered. I know I'm gonna have to fix that again.
Yeah, tempered,
Laminated.
annealed, mirrors. Works on all that.
Perfect.
Let's see if we got some other questions. Right. Thanks, Steve. Steve Sirianni.
Sirianni, my buddy Steve.
He had to run, but he said, duty calls have to go. All the best. Well, thanks for joining us. Yeah, and we're happy to answer any questions anybody has. I'm just going to go up here. Sorry, I'm looking at some older ones. Bobby Park, thanks for joining. What else we got? Bobby Park. Hey, Tim Green's here. Hi, Tim Green.
My good buddy Tim.
How's it going? We got Jody with Western Glass in California. Thanks for joining. Tristan Gallino in Quebec. Thanks a lot for joining us.
CA, friends from up north.
Yeah. So thanks all you guys for joining us, guys and gals, I should say. We got Travis Ray from North Dakota. Thanks for joining. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, just drop them in the chat, and we'll get to them. If we don't get to them right away, we'll go back and answer them.
Well, I think they've waited long enough. What do you think?
I think so. Yeah. So, real quick here, just gonna change the camera so you guys can get an awesome view of Tracy doing a scratch removal using the GeForce Max. There he is.
Perfect. Excellent. So we haven't scratched the glass yet, but it's my favorite part of the job. Perfect. Come feel these for me. Mike, what do you think? Those deep enough for you?
Those are legit. You can see my fingernail stops, and stops. So yeah, those are legit scratches, and I mean, I think those are a perfect example of the kind of scratches people are seeing, especially on auto glass. It's just those little light scratches, like the windshield wiper scratches that you see, just enough to get your customer upset.
No, absolutely. Yeah, especially when they're paying for a new windshield and they're like, what's this? Mike, could you hand me that spatula over there?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. All right. First step, I roughed up my polishing disc, made it as absorbent as possible. What I ideally want to do is get that compound to sit inside of it, just so it'll last a little bit longer. I got my water bottle over here, give it a few pumps, pumped it up already, make sure I'm good to go with my water feed system. Applied the compound, spread it around nice and evenly. So what I'm going to do, get started, run it as flat as I can against the glass here.
Got it.
Perfect. There we go. It's not if Tracy makes a mess, it's how much of a mess does Tracy make, just so everybody knows. So run the polisher flat. With this piece of glass, I want to be close to about 120, 140 degrees in Fahrenheit, and we'll be able to see that here. So we're starting off, it's pretty warm in here, 80 degrees. And let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to run this. Woo! All right.
Wow, look at that.
Let's see what we're dealing with. Perfect. Kind of a little bit warm, but see what's left here.
So one of the great things about our system is there's no distortion to the glass whatsoever with the one-step polishing process. I was at a trade show, I was at the Mobile Tech Expo in Orlando a couple months ago, and I was putting scratches in a windshield and taking them out all day in an area about the same size that Tracy just used. And at the end of 2 days of that, I looked at it and there was no distortion there whatsoever.
After working on it all day long.
After all 2 days straight. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's crazy. The single step, distortion free. We're not removing any glass. So that's the important part. You know, we're just rearranging it. Perfect. I felt like it could be a little bit better, so I wanted to hit it again. But
It's great.
basically, you work on it till, you know, it's completely gone.
Yeah, and sort of adding on to what I was mentioning before, you can polish the same area of glass over and over and over again until every little bit of damage is gone.
Yep.
Because you're not adding any distortion. Basically, kind of the analogy we like to use is it's almost like you're ironing the glass.
Yep.
You're not adding anything, you're not taking anything away, you're just smoothing it out.
Just removing all the wrinkles from it.
And that's, our polishing compound's non-abrasive, correct? Am I correct in that? Yeah. So it's non-abrasive compound. It's not like using cerium oxide or any of that stuff. So yeah, zero distortion, and that is completely gone.
Perfect. Easy as that.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna switch the camera here. My AV skills. Second here. Okay, here we are. So let me see if we got any questions here. So this tiny polishing pad does not leave a hard edge. Wow. Yes, that is correct. Mike, what about graffiti removal? Does this machine have larger pads to cover more surface?
Sure does.
Sure does.
That's a great question, actually. Predominantly, know what kind of glass you're working on. Got the 2-inch polishing disc here and a 3-inch polishing disc here as well. So depending on what kind of damage you are dealing with, kind of seeing, graffiti removal, you're probably gonna have to get into some of the microforce discs, get down to the bottom of the scratches and completely remove them. And then once you're done with that, feather it out, you're just gonna finish that and polish them.
Yeah, the microforce discs are basically different grit sanding discs. And at that point, that's for really severe scratches or graffiti. And basically you hit it with the heavier grit, then a lighter grit, then depending on your damage, you could go straight to polishing it after that. Basically the polishing step is going to be the same as what Tracy just showed you, where you're just literally taking out any of the smaller, lighter damage to the glass with the polishing pad and the polishing compound. And again, you can hit the same area of glass again and again and again with the polishing compound and pad, and it's never going to distort, but it will take every bit of damage out. So I've got any other questions here? All right, Bobby's impressed. Thanks, Bobby. is there a recommended charge for a small project like this?
Oh, good question. Mike, you want to handle it, or
Sure.
Tell me what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard for something small like that, 100, 125, maybe even 150 for something kind of bigger.
Definitely depend on the project.
Yeah.
Because I always look at what it would cost to replace the glass, and then add your time in that. You're not charging, what the full cost of replacement, but what would make sense in the particular area. Being a front glass door or a windshield. So it really depends. You're not going to charge the same thing for on the Civic to get wiper marks out as you would for an Audi. So it varies a little bit, but I definitely might get it in the 120, 150 range, depending on your time.
Yeah, I hope that helps. And then Bobby commented, we usually do very large projects with panels that are scratched over 40 inches of scratches to remove.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, we do have larger pads. Like this is the 2-inch pad that Tracy was using. We have a 3-inch pad. We also have a 5-inch pad, which I don't think we have.
I don't have
but
it.
It's about this big.
But for something like that, Bobby, it really depends on the glass that you're working with. And from there, just chop it up into sections. Because you're not going to be able to build temperature if you're trying to do the entire thing. So even, say 5 inches, do it that amount of times and just work in that area and move on. You're probably going to see great results just chopping it up rather than trying to handle it all at one time.
Yeah, and then again, you don't need to have, even though it's a huge area with the way our system works, you don't actually need that huge pad. I mean, I think it helps to cover more ground. But with the smaller one, you see how easily Tracy was moving that around.
Yeah, I definitely like to know what kind of glass I'm working on and choose my pad effectively.
Let's see. So Bobby says we use 6-inch pads. Will your pads cut down on time? I mean, I believe they would.
I think so.
Because as far as we know, it's basically the fastest scratch removal system out there.
This side of the Mississippi.
Tristan says, thanks you guys. I have to leave. I've probably sold 20 GeForce Max in the past 1.5 years. That's awesome. Thank you, Tristan. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, Bobby says commercial glass is our usual. Can you use on hard water stains?
You can, absolutely. Yeah. I would definitely pair it with our Pro Clean. Cut the job down a little bit. Shower doors is probably predominantly what I think of. Windows next to sprinklers and stuff. In that aspect, it'll take the elbow grease out of a project like that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I've heard our Pro Clean works on water spots that nothing else will remove as well.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, I tried everything. What makes us different? Like, just trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. You haven't tried this. Mike, you want to flip it over, show them kind of what they're dealing with, depending on the projects that they may come across?
Just wanted to read Tristan's comment here. He says, your product is amazing and life-changing for all windshield installers. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, that's great, Tristan. Thanks for joining us. So we want to look at the kits now?
Let's give them the kit selections.
Okay. Let's get something open here.
But yeah, I mean, that was honestly kind of the perfect time to get into scratch removal because take advantage of that discount if you can. 20% off on all our kits, and depending on what your needs are, it's kind of where I like to steer people.
Okay, give me just a sec here, folks. Sorry. Okay, hopefully everybody can see this. Just a little demonstration here we got about our scratch removal kits. So we're just going to go through each kit. First up, we have the GeForce Max Essential. And this comes with everything you need basically to handle light to medium scratches in one step. Specifically designed for those needing simple, fast, and distortion-free scratch removal. Perfect for small glass shops and auto glass technicians. Normal price is $1,095.95. It is 20% off right now.
To like be able to do it. You probably got about 10 hours worth of work just in what's the initial kits, and your biggest resupply is gonna be, the polishing disc, backer pad, and the compound. So once you already have the tool in your hands, I mean, the resupply, you're looking about probably 100, 130, 40 bucks in about 30 hours worth of work. So your ROI on this stuff is amazing. But from here, what I like also is this GeForce Max Professional Kit. So this one gets you the splash guard that I was using here that I showed, the 2-inch backer, 3-inch backer, 2-inch polishing disc, and the sample of our Gforce disc. So when you do come across those, tougher stuff that you might not be able to get out simply by polishing, you need to go a little bit quicker for it to take, be cost effective. This professional kit is right in your alley. Tackles light to deep scratches, so you have this stuff readily available. Has, again, the splash guard and everything I was using there. And the IR thermometer.
And so that one is usually $14.95.95. With the current sale that's going through the end of March, it's around $11.96.
Perfect.
So really good deal on that kit right now. Again, that pricing too is live on our web store. So if you go to our web store at glassweld.com, go to shop, go to scratch removal kits, you'll see that discounted pricing.
Yeah, or give us a call.
Yeah, or give us a call anytime, 541-388-1156.
And we're always happy to talk to you.
Yep.
And the last one that we're looking at will be the GeForce Max XL kit. This kit is the one-stop shop. This has everything you guys will need to be as effective as possible in the scratch removal game. 2-inch, 3-inch, 5-inch backer pads, polishing discs, and all the Gforce discs. Because there isn't a scratch that's going to be out there that you won't be able to remove with this kit. So this is probably one of the top sellers, and for the price, this is definitely the biggest bang for your buck. $19.95. What's it going for right now?
Right now, with the discount on the sale, it's about $15.96.
That's amazing. Close to about $400 just in savings right now to the end of the month.
Yeah, and this is the one. If you're seeing a lot of scratches, like for the guys I was talking to in Connecticut, the contractors that they have $10,000 pieces of glass with scratches all over them. You get this. You pay a guy, pay one of your guys, teach him how to use it, pay him to take those scratches out in a day or two. The kit just paid for itself.
That 1600 is a lot easier to look at than a $10,000 replacement.
Yeah. So that's the one. I even talked to a gentleman, I believe again in Connecticut or maybe New Jersey. That's all he does. He works for a contractor. He has a GeForce Max XL. He has a couple of younger people under him working for him. They have GeForce Max XLs, and that's all they do. They go around and take scratches out of windows all day long.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's incredible. It's the solution for the huge problem of scratches, graffiti, and all that kind of stuff.
The stuff that you guys are running into, this will definitely handle everything.
Yeah, so there's a little rundown on the kits. I'm gonna give my AV skills a workout here, try to go back to the camera. There we are. All right.
You're doing great. Only missing the VCR on the card.
Yeah. Okay, Bobby says, my techs have been doing scratch removal for 20 years. We started with the Novus. Well, I mean, you've seen what our tool can do and how awesome it is and how easy to learn and how easy to use it is. Minor thing, I don't think we mentioned it before, but I like to bring it up. Our backer pad is flexible. Let me show you. So this is a backer pad that screws on the machine. Polishing disc goes on here, or the GeForce disc. But this backer pad, I don't know if you can see this, but it flexes. It's made out of a tough, spongy kind of material. So, I mean, it literally will conform to, say, if you're working on a windshield, it's going to bend and conform to the curvature of the windshield. So just a little thing like that makes it so much easier to use.
It'll help your technicians also run it flat against the glass as well. Because anytime you run it off kilter, it used to be a real problem just because, people weren't getting results because they weren't running it flat. So what did we do? Went back to the drawing board, see how we could better serve our customers and give them something like that backer pad that makes the world of difference.
Yeah, and it's just, that's kind of, I feel like that's Glasswell's approach to everything we do. It's engineered to be as easy to use and as easy to learn as possible.
Yep.
And being newer here, I can speak to the fact that I was amazed at how easy to use this was.
Yeah.
I was like, when are you guys going to show me how to do scratch removal? And you guys are like, it takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you have nothing to worry about. And sure enough, the first time I tried it, I could not believe how easy it is to use. The tool itself is very light. I think it only weighs 2 pounds.
2 pounds, yeah.
So, I mean, it weighs 2 pounds. It's super ergonomic the way it's designed, where you have your one hand on top. I mean, it's incredibly easy to use and learn. And it's the one-step solution for most of what you're dealing with.
Just the problem pains that you guys have is just let's get them fixed, really. Like, let's just end it and just be like, okay, I got this. I said, you said you started with Novus, but this is usually the last scratch polisher people buy is because of how easy it is. And it is the best one. I got a lot of phone calls and they're like, we've tried everything. Well, you haven't tried us yet, so.
I had a gentleman, just another kind of a random story about our tool. I had a homeowner call me recently, I think it was last week. He said, I have a door with a custom cut window, a $10,000 piece of glass, again, scratches all over it. And he said he called his glass shop that he got the glass from because they didn't want to replace it because it's a $10,000 piece of glass. And he told them to buy this kit so that they could come and take the scratch out. So, yeah, so it's pretty great.
No, it's pretty awesome.
Let's see here.
But excellent, guys. I do appreciate you guys joining us for this Thursday afternoon for some people, morning for us. It's an absolute pleasure to get to do these because I don't know about you. I had a great time.
Yeah, I had a blast.
This is awesome. So fun.
This went fast. I thought it was going to feel long, but it went really quick.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, if you want to check out the sale, again, you can call us anytime, 541-388-1156. Go to glasswell.com. Check out the web store. If you have further questions,
give us a call.
Give us a call or an email. We could email the sales one or the info. I mean, you could do sales@glasswell.com if you have any questions as well. Yeah. Edison HQ says, excellent product. Thank you, Edison HQ. That's great to hear.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys make me be able to do things that I like to do. But yeah, let's get your guys' problems fixed.
Okay. Thanks, Bobby. Bobby says, this is great info. I will speak to our owner, Bob Park, and see if we can invest in a few machines. Fantastic. All right. So yeah, unless there's any other questions, I think we'll probably wrap it up here.
Perfect.
Anybody got any last minute questions? Let's see. I'm just going to see if any pop up. Because I would hate to quit it right if somebody's like, hey, wait. Okay, thanks again for joining, everybody. I think we're going to wrap it up here. Again, this is Mike, Tracy,
Perfect.